In this video, we carry on working with the Kinect2 sensor, the openNI Natural Interaction toolkit in openFrameworks, building a particle painter installation. We get green sparks shooting out of our left hand and play it like a theremin. Last time we looked at extracting more information from the Natural Interaction toolkit, being able to get the hand position in XYZ coordinates, and we drew a simple particle system that made sparks emit from my left hand. In this instance, we're going to go further and look at making it controllable and build a painting theremin in 3D space. So last time, we built a tracker that tracks my right hand and my left hand and makes a particle system emit from where my left hand is. We're going to reduce some of the debugs. We're going to make our system a little bit more reliable, and we're going to control the emission of the particles by tracking other parts of our body. So, coming to the code, what I want to do is be able to switch on and off the particles that are being emitted by my left hand. And the easiest way to do that is to have a Boolean. So I'm going to set up a Boolean that controls whether the particles are being emitted. And in my header file, I'm going to make a bool variable, and I'm going to start it with a b underscore, which is what I like to do because it reminds me that that's just a Boolean only variable. And I'm going to call it draw particles, and if it's true we draw them, if it's false we don't. I'm going to start at the beginning and say bool draw particles, initializing is false. So we're in in our setup, I'm going to initialize this Boolean variable to be false. So draw particles, no. And then I'm going to come down to my draw routine where I'm drawing the particles, and here we have a loop that goes through all the particles that are in the particles array, tells each one individually to draw it depending upon how many particles there are. And here I'm going to say if the draw particles Boolean is true, then loop through and draw those particles. It's set to false, so now it won't draw them. And we can see that if I compile this and run it up again. So we have our skeleton tracking, I have my left hand, my right hand. We're also showing the debug text. I think we can get rid of that for now, just to make this look a little bit better. So I'm going to go to my CPP file, and in my draw routine, tell it not to draw the bitmap string debug text for my left hand and my right hand. We're still using the left hand to draw the particles. What I want to say is a last test for this user, because we're in a loop where we say, ask the tracker to get the number of people or the users that it can find. Make a variable called user for this user, so user 0, user 1, user 2, user 3, etc. As we loop through the amount of people, we find where their head is, their right hand and their left hand, and we get the XYZ position of the left hand and the right hand and put them into this vector3 variable that we've made, left hand position or right hand position. And then we use the left hand position, make more particles at this position please. But what I'm going to say is, if the left hand position is the X, Y, Z, so the up and down position, if my left hand is higher than my right hand, I want it to emit sparks. And if my right hand is higher than my left hand, I want it not to emit sparks. So sparks, no sparks. Sparks, no sparks. So my left hand position Y is greater than my right hand position Y coordinate. Then I'm going to set the Boolean draw particles to be true. So it'll set the Boolean, we'll start drawing the particles. Draw particles, not draw particles. But if the left hand position is not greater than the right hand position, i.e. the right hand is higher than the left, else set our Boolean draw particles to be false. So now, drawing particles, not drawing particles, drawing particles, not drawing particles. Let's see if it works. So I have my skeleton tracking, drawing particles, not drawing particles, drawing particles. My right hand is down by my side, drawing particles with my left hand, move my right hand up, stop drawing particles, with my right hand down, start drawing particles. So you can see if I face the camera, drawing particles with my right hand, sorry, with my left hand. Move my right hand up, stop drawing particles, move my right hand down, drawing particles. Not drawing particles. So there is my Theremin. But there is one thing that I've noticed. If I hold my hand in front of my face, I can see that it's drawing particles. But if I hold my hand behind my face, it's still drawing particles over my face. So what I want to do is alter this. So if my hand that's emitting particles comes behind my head, you can actually see my head blocking the particles. So what we need to do is go back to our friend depth test, because openFrameworks as standard draws the things in the order that you tell it to. So the layering on the screen isn't obeyed. It's only obeyed by the order in which we tell it to program them. What I want to do is I want to, at the beginning of my draw routine, I'm going to say OF enable depth test. So now it's going to go through and say in what Z order, which is the in and out of the screen, in what order should these be drawn to obey the way in which we would see them or order them if they were in real space. So at the beginning, just before begin cam, I enable depth test, and then after I say OF disable depth test. And now let's have a look at the difference that that makes. So I've got my tracking, right hand up, right hand down, right hand up, right hand down. I'm emitting particles from my hand, which is kind of cool. I hold it right in front of my face, and you can see it's emitting the particles. But now if I hold it behind, get to track this properly, you can see it's recognizing that the particles are being emitted behind my head, and if I move it out, you can see them, move it back, and they go. And the same should be with my red hand in front of my face or behind my head. So it'll draw one over the other. So there, really simply, we're using skeletal tracking. I'm able to emit sparks from my left hand, and I can control it with my right hand like a Theremin. And I've got it so that it will obey depth positioning, and if I move my skeletal tracking viewpoint with EasyCam, you can see that this is emitting in 3D. So have a think about what you can do and the things that you can access, and we'll be visiting this on future videos. If you like what we're doing, please do subscribe, like the video, leave comments below. You can get the source code from the link here and also download the openFrameworks NI2 add-on for Kinect2 for using the Natural Interaction toolkit.